should be able to sweep the filter. So we're going to be seeing the Korg PS-3300, which is won Best in Show here at the NAMM Show 2024. And it's one of the best synthesizers ever made. It's polyphonic synth, and it has an incredible sound. And we're going to go through it with Luke.
Yeah.
I'm so excited.
So this is, we're very proud to bring this synthesizer back. And it was originally made in the late 70s, but in very, very limited numbers. Only, I think we think less than 50 ever made of these. So it's incredible that we've been able to bring it back. And what makes it special is the fact, first of all, it's fully polyphonic. So you can press down every key and it will play.
Yeah, and if you look at it, you can see very clearly. Why don't you come in on this? It's not that hard to understand when you look at it, because 1, 2, 3 sections all are basically the same. And so when you set the oscillator on each one of these sections, you can basically stack them or mix them together and play them, I believe, on each note, right?
Yeah,
you can
exactly
get
right.
that basic sound. So
and then you just blend between those three with these controls.
in the mixer.
They're in the mixer, and then you can turn them on and off as well, just very easily. So it's quite easy to control these, or if you just want to hear one of them, that's fine. You can just,
Yeah, and but the interesting thing is you have a separate waveform, filter setting, and pitch for each of the 3 for each note.
Yeah.
And you can play every note if you want to. It's fully polyphonic. And sweep these, let's talk about some of the modulators. So below this line section is going to be the modulators.
Yeah.
Straightforward signal path, because back then it was not a lot of hidden menus, but there's a lot that can happen within this framework.
Yeah.
A little more dive into the LFOs. We have the depth control. And then, just like on an MS-20, you have this one main send, and then you can pick different wave shapes here.
Exactly.
And it looks like you can also route, like with a patch cord, you can take this somewhere.
Send it somewhere else, yeah.
Yeah. So I can use these 2 modulators over to the, would you call this voice one, or what?
We call it module 1.
Module 1.
2 and 3. Yeah.
So because it's modular, right? you can take components and send them across to other of the modules here. So we can move over to this section.
Yeah, and that's actually moves on really from what you were saying, because some things you have to patch. So a lot of this is already pre-patched or normal behind the scenes, but for instance, you've got an extra envelope here, see, which you can then send to 3 different places.
So this is an AR envelope, so you'd only have control of attack and release, which is quite good. But what I like especially is that there's a delay on this one, just like on the MS-20.
Yeah.
So you can delay, if you were to use this fancy one, like I don't believe you have delays on these.
You don't.
You don't.
No.
So if you want to have a delay, which means when you play a key, you can bring a sound in later, or you can just bring in an LFO, like a delayed vibrato. There are a lot of great uses to give your sound more depth once you're already into the key.
It's really nice even just to delay the filter opening or something.
Absolutely.
Gives you an extra envelope, because you only have the one ADSR module. You've also got sample and hold as well, which you can patch in, which is really nice.
So this is the output, and are we always sampling noise, always a random source?
Yeah.
So it's fixed. Is there any other alternative input?
Well, you can plug in
So
something
this
else.
is the input.
Yeah.
So you can sample an LFO as well. So when you're sampling noise, you're getting the typical, people call it sample and hold, but it's not always random. It's because you're sampling noise.
Absolutely.
If you were to sample a low frequency sine wave, you'll be getting signal coming out of the sample and hold that's going to be going like down, right? So it'd follow that shape, and the sample is how fast the low frequency oscillator is that's grabbing voltages from that sine wave and sending it to an oscillator or to a filter to get those
wherever
effects.
you like, yeah.
So you have the ability to control the sample and hold here, which is quite good for me. And then voltage processor, so you can send straight voltage, right? So when you turn this knob, you can make the filter brighter, or you can make pitch go up, or you can make things louder. Like Luke discussed, MIDI, power, and looks like something
extra there.
Something extra.
So obviously, it didn't have MIDI or USB on the original. Having USB is really useful because we've added patch memories. there will be a piece of software called a Librarian, which you will be able to back up your patches, share patches with other people, and also temperaments as well. So if you have a really nice micro-tuning scale that you've made, you can then port that to other sounds as well.
So it looks like in the mixer, you have this normaled, like synth channel 1 is normaled,
Yep.
but you can also override.
Yep.
And
so you can plug in an external instrument if you want to.
Are there external instrument inputs to go into the filters?
No, not on this panel, but that's the way to do it, I think.
It's just straight into the mixer.
Yeah.
So, might be fun to hear it.
Yeah.
All right, let's see what's going on.
Yeah,
So I'll just start with the
have it
presets,
play.
right? So now I hear some tuning issues, right?
Okay. Yeah.
So can I just start overriding?
Yes, of course.
And tune.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So my pitch, that's my filter. Frequency. There we go. So I'm going to tune down, and I'm only going to hear
There you go. You
the
can just
first
isolate
one.
that one. Yeah.
That's what I'm doing. Yeah. And then I'm going to bring in the second one, and I'm going to fine tune it. There's a coarse tuning control and a fine tune, and then we'll bring in the third oscillator. You hear it beating, so I'm going to tune that, and I go over to the fine tune, and you can scale it. Just like on a mini Moog. So let's go in 3 octaves. And then I should be able to sweep the filter.
Nice.
Great. So let's just hear one voice,
Yeah.
right? Is that okay? I'll just stick with this first preset. And I have the filter closed. Let's move around. I'm just fighting my way around really quickly. So you can hear a filter sweep on voice 1. And if I want to switch types of filters, Luke, oh, I can add the resonators.
You can add the resonator.
Let's hear the resonators coming in. And I'm going to put an LFO on this resonator, right there. So Luke just switched it in, and we're hearing that first band. So those resonators are fantastic. You getting good signal? So I'm not even having to sweep the filter. This LFO is sweeping the resonator. Let's try a different frequency. It's starting to talk. All 3 resonators, and now I can still sweep the filters.
Sounds great.
Yeah, very simple. I love these one oscillator sounds, right? Kind of let it do its thing, and then I should be able to get some release time if I got this right. Beautiful. Let's hear the rees.
It's really long.
Nice long release times, right?
This as well, this expand, that's basically sending the filter to the envelope as well. So you can choose whether you want to do that or not. So
Okay.
it's like an envelope generator intensity.
Oh, I see. Let's hear the decay. How short we can get. I'm going to remove the resonators for a second. Here we go. Resonance, no resonance. That's a short attack. It's a little soft in my headphones, but Good. And then I can make it longer, a little bit of decay. That's one oscillator. So let's say we wanted to have a short sound on this oscillator. So this is up an octave. Let's keep it up an octave and let it do something different. A long attack time. So I'm getting a multi-timbral effect. Here it comes in late. And let's put the resonators on this guy. Wow, that's a long time. And then we'll add the third. Portamento?
Oh, you have to patch it.
Let's patch it.
Yeah.
And I'll give it some more release times. So release time, release time, release time. And portamento. So you have patch chords?
We don't have any.
Oh, then we don't have patch chords. So we're going to work with presets. So you see how I made a multi-timbral sound? I'm trying to do the most simple things on the keyboard to let the instrument speak.
Let it sing, yeah, absolutely.
Right? It's beautiful. So let's move on, right?
Yeah.
Any favorites?
This one, is it that one?
Give it a whirl.
Try that.
Okay. So again, the tuning's kind of all over the place, right? So all I would do is just turn this down, see what's going on in the first oscillator, just tune it up. And then get the... Whoa. So who's that? That's the third one. So you can see the third one's on a delay.
Maybe the attack's just really long.
Yeah, it is. Now, when you call up a preset, none of these mean anything.
No, exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
So if I were to go to the attack time, I would just do that, and then now it's going to read this attack time, right? So now you can hear our third voice starts right away, whereas in the preset, it was slow like that.
Oh, yeah.
Add resonators. Wow.
Sounds amazing, doesn't it?
One note. One note. Let's try a lower note. It's going to take a while now. And here it comes. Let's add the second voice, and then slowly add the first voice. Right in the middle there, add some resonators. Try a middle range resonator. Make the filter brighter. Bring up an oscillator, an octave. Lots of movement. Next preset. Woo.
So it's got some nice noise.
Go ahead. Wow, kind of a beautiful airy piano.
Yeah.
So let's see what's going on. First voice. So that's kind of our soft, cloudy, floating, noisy
What's that one?
voice. Voice 2.
I think.
So let's see what's going on there, right? What's happening? We don't know how it's patched because we just called up a preset. So it could have a really slow attack time, right?
Yeah, maybe.
Let's turn the attack times down. So somewhere we have to trace it backwards. It switched on. There it was.
Oh, it's
so
off.
what I just found is that in the VCA here, in the mixer, you have to make sure that you're switched on.
Because it was saved with
it was saved with it in the off position.
Yeah.
So that's why we always trace, that's what we say all the time on the videos, trace the sound backwards, because this happens to everyone, right? You get lost, you have a great sound, and it's like, well, what's going on? And then
you almost have to reverse engineer what they
reverse engineer it.
Yeah.
You got to work forward, backwards, you know, always. So now we know what the second voice is doing. We discovered that. Let's see what the third voice is doing. Maybe the first thing I would want to do is check in and make sure we're on, right?
That's noise.
And on is down. So I hear it.
Yeah, it's just noise.
It's just this fluffy little noise. So there we go. So it was a 2-voice sound. Let's try another. Oh, nice. Okay, so let's break it down. Voice 1.
Oh, it's a little bit of a, yeah.
And I see we got a little bit of wiggle here from this guy and from this guy. See how I slowed it down? Speed, speed, and that's here. I love these resonators.
So nice, huh?
They're just so vocal.
Yeah.
Listen to that. How do you not like that? Adding oscillator 2. Voice 2, now adding 3. Oh, this is a nice one. Go for it, Luke. Let's give it some release time. Just add a release time and now it holds up. If I want to slow any of these speeds down, I've just slowed all the oscillator speeds down and everything's active. So you noticed I cranked up the release time and it doesn't have any problem with voices.
No, it doesn't at all. And that's the benefit of having so much polyphony.
Just keeps on singing.
Just keeps going, yeah. Brilliant.
What do you got there?
Like an octave.
Kind of. So essentially it's a multi-timbral instrument, right?
Exactly.
It's polyphonic with voice 1. Like most synthesizers, that would be it. You're done. And it would be whatever amount of voices you could play.
Exactly, yeah.
So the advantage now on the 3300 is you're not done. Now there's this voice plus as many notes as you want to play, plus resonators, plus more patchability. Then you could do it again with voice 2 and again with voice 3 and stack them on top and still play as many voices as you want.
So you can get some really, really thick and, well, just fabulous sounds.
Yeah, and then quickly get back to the simple sounds by just flicking a switch, or you could have a preset level here and then just flick the switches and it'll always go to that level.
Yeah.
So I like the switches a lot. On my ARP 2600, I put switches on the mixer.
Okay,
I've
nice,
never really
yeah.
seen this before.
Yeah.
Because when I did movie sessions, I had to have the volume set to come in at a certain point and the engineer would set the level and you didn't want to screw with that.
Oh, that's right.
And I could flick a switch and I'd know exactly where the level was going to be.
Perfect.
Right? And
Yeah.
Korg thought of that way back when.
Yeah.
I mean, I got it. I can't wait to play it and program it. And, you know, right now today, I'm just diving in on sense memory. So I'm moving as quickly as I can through it, but I think with like an hour or two, most of you that have really experience with an analog modular synth will be flying. Because you just think of it in the same simple way. Pitch, timbre in the filters, duration in the envelope generators, which are right here below the filter, and then amplitude. You have your VCAs over here, and the envelope generator is always modulating the VCA, and then if you wanted to also go to the filter,
do this.
You turn the expand knob.
Exactly.
Okay, very clear.
Yeah.
And that's going to be the same on all the modules.
Yeah.
And then I see an external input, right?
Yeah.
So you can modulate the filter frequency with an external signal?
Yeah, this is like on the MS-20 where you can, it has two, in the LFO it has two knobs. It has the normal one, which is this one, and then it has the external. So whatever you bring into this jack then...
From the outside?
From the outside, or from somewhere else.
Or
on the
from
synth.
somewhere else, right?
Yeah.
Of course. And then you have the volume, the send amount right here.
Exactly.
Modulation amount.
Exactly.
General envelope generator. And then we talked about that, and you can send it. It looks like you can send it
to 3
upside
places.
down. This output is inverted, right?
Yeah.
And then this is forward, but
Different voltages.
yes, it's where the 0 line is. This goes to 0,
That one's
and this
plus
one,
5.
so it's below the line, and then this one goes up to 5 volts.
Yeah, exactly.
So depending on where you send it, it will, from the starting place, it'll either go up, down, or it'll hit that top. So you have 3 options.
Yeah.
Aftertouch.
Yes. So yeah, this keyboard has aftertouch. So if you want to patch it, you can go out of here to, say, the filter, control that there. Or,
So it's monophonic aftertouch, essentially, right? If
Yeah.
I played a chord and I just push it
yeah,
down,
exactly. Yeah.
everything will go.
Everything goes. Yeah.
And it goes to all 3 voices?
Yeah. If you, that's where you need to use the junction, the mult. So you go into there and then out of there to.
And this is like a mult.
Yeah.
It's just called junction, so it's
Yeah.
like a mult on.
Some of the older terminology is different from what we use now. But yeah.
Wow. Damper.
What's that? Oh yeah, you have a damper, which I don't think you had on the original.
Is it a damper pedal?
Yeah, damper pedal. Yeah.
Oh, just like on
So
a piano.
it's the same pedal. Yeah.
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 So it's called damper because on a piano it's called a damper pedal because it removes the dampers from the strings. So in case you never thought of what a pedal does on a piano, there's felt that's on top of the strings, and when you push the pedal, the felts come up. So they use that terminology, and it just allows you to play a note and it'll ring out.
And it makes sense on a synth like this where you can play lots of notes because you can sustain your pedal and then move on, make everything smooth.
Fantastic. Well, I can't wait to get my hands on it and program a lot of new sounds. It's a fantastic synth. It's bringing back the old in a slightly new way because you can save the sounds, right?
Save the sounds and you can connect it to your modern production studio if you want to.
And it's MIDI in and out,
Yeah. And through.
either direction.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, we have to thank Luke for this great demonstration, and we want to thank Korg for this opportunity to be in this little booth here with all my friends. With Yaz and Eden and Kaylin. You don't want to mess it up. And Dante and Ben. We're all here. We have no animals in here. I was looking down just to make sure.
Just to make sure. Yeah.
Stick with the channel. We'll try to bring you more of these fun things. This was a lot of fun. I really appreciate it.
Cool.
Everybody, let's say bye. Korg PS-3300.